right, gentlemen, I'm back.
You are back.
That's right. No more Europe for a long time, but it was a great time. Okay, traveling got a little interesting yesterday. 10-hour flight back.
Yeah, you weren't stoked yesterday.
No, flight got delayed. Blaine was going to pick me up from the airport. Me and Reed up from the airport. Didn't work out. Ended up having to drive a rental car like 4 hours because apparently, like, it's 2023 and, you know, we can do all this stuff in space, but, man, getting a plane on time is just, especially for an hour flight from Atlanta to Nashville, it's tough.
The most surprising thing you could have told me is if all of your flights were perfectly on time.
It just, again.
Like that would have been the most
I'm not a scientist, all right?
I'm
not a math doctor. I don't know exactly how it works. All right, we talk sports around here. But again, I do know about being punctual, okay? Every flight was delayed yesterday. In the Atlanta airport, it was like every one. There was more piss. You know what it reminded me of? People walking around. It's like when you go to a home game and your team loses and everybody's walking out pissed because it was like a huge game. You know, maybe we were there. Yeah, you know, maybe, you know, you had this 1-2, something like that, and everybody hyped it up. This was your chance, your opportunity, your team blew it. And that was how everybody was walking around the airport, except it was like not as bad as that.
How was the baked ribs over there?
Dude, they're good.
It's crazy no one cares.
I want to, well, it's amazing the first thing you asked me when I get back. I was going to give you a compliment on how great.
Oh, really? No, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
come on.
Colorado's heading back to the Big 12 conference next season. Auburn, Florida State, and LSU have huge recruiting weekends, and Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow will likely miss several weeks after suffering a calf strain. Uh-oh. I'm Jake Crain, and welcome to Crain & Company. Now, there are always turning points in success stories, that pivotal moment or moments that lead to a change for the better. The penny stocks for Jordan Belfort, Charlie deciding to buy that chocolate bar, my now wife Reed deciding to finally give me her number after like the 5th time I asked. And in college football, it's no different. And for Hugh Freeze and Auburn this past week and weekend felt like one of those turning points. Now, it started with 5-star linebacker DeMarcus Riddick flipping from Georgia. Then 4-star wide receiver Malcolm Simmons picked the Tigers, and it culminated in 5-star wide receiver Perry Thompson flipping from Alabama, which caused a massive positive momentum tsunami in college football recruiting world. Now, recently, it seemed that the only way Auburn would see a 5-star is by looking up at a constellation, but times are changing. Now, it is only a couple commitments, and Auburn still has a long road to get anywhere near the roster talent and depth needed to be a consistent contender for it all. But you do need a spark to start a wildfire. And it shows that Auburn is capable of landing big-time players once again. Now, for teams like Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and Michigan, getting this caliber of player is now par for the course. Hell, they just view it as normal or what's supposed to happen. And that's a huge compliment to the mega machine that King Kirby and Emperor Saban have built. But Auburn has proven in the past that they are one of the few places that can stand up against the giants on each side of them. The truth is, when all of Auburn is aligned, the program can be top shelf. Now, Auburn has all the ingredients to be able to not only compete, but also win at a very high level. They have the perfect climate to grow a college football power. You're in the SEC. You have the community and the support. The town runs on the football team, and the people view them as representatives of themselves every Saturday, like many other places that are die-hard fans of their team do. Auburn has the resources, like elite facilities and NIL money, and they got more than you think. And all Auburn was missing was someone to plan it the right way, someone willing to sweat and bleed to help the Plains reach the maximum potential that they could achieve. And it seems so far they have found that man in Hugh Freeze and the staff he's assembled. And right now, Auburn seems to be aligned behind him, which is not an easy feat to pull off. Now, the job is nowhere complete, and to be honest with you, it never really is. There's plenty left to do in and on the field, ironically. But to yield the best harvest, you need to grab the strongest seeds in recruiting. And after this past week and weekend, Auburn's showing that the Plains are more deep-rooted and stronger than they've been in a long time. I'm bringing my co-host, former Michigan quarterback, David Cohn, and my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver.
What's up, losers?
And if he was going to be a prisoner, he'd only be a prisoner of the moment. I just totally thought of that.
Don't let the moment seize you like that.
Look, I don't have seizures.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, back to this. It's great to be back, by the way. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to it. If you just heard about us, welcome home. You're in the trust tree. Where are they, Blaine? Tell them.
Under the wing.
They're under the wing. It feels so good. Drink it in. It always goes down smooth. But Blaine, I'm going to start with you on this.
Love that from you.
Okay?
Okay.
We're from Auburn. Everybody's a fan of somebody.
Yeah.
We call it like we see it, though.
For sure.
Nobody's harder on them than we are.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, when's the last time that Auburn, not only, let's think about it, I think it was 2019 when they got a 5-star, and it seems like Auburn kind of just sneaks around and gets a 5-star, like it's a big project guy, there's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But you don't see them flip 5-stars from Alabama and Georgia in like 4 days.
No.
That's not even counting the wide receiver, the Malcolm Simmons kid. And you look at KJ Bolden, which we're going to get into with Josh Newberg from On 3 is going to join us as well, because there's a bunch of big recruiting news. But right now, when is the last time that you saw Auburn this healthy? They went in for a physical. Doctor looked at him. Hey, let's get that blood work. Oh, it's looking good. Wow, you've lost some weight. The cholesterol's down.
Yeah.
You know, feeling jacked and tan about it.
It's a weird feeling. I haven't felt it in a while, to
I
be
know.
honest, and it kind of scares me a little bit. I don't even like talking about it. All right, I don't even like talking about it.
But we do a sports show, so that's gonna be tough.
Because that curse comes flying in. All right, look, it's great. You have to have the players. You have to be recruiting. That's where it starts when it becomes coaching a football team. That's how you build the monster, right?
Yep.
Hughes building it. You have to let him build it. But there's a certain trust there that's with Hughes. He believes, right? We talked with Brian Harsin. Brian was a what? He was a house cat.
Yeah.
I like to stay in the house, play with my little yarn ball. You got my milk bring to me. Hughes out in the jungle with a spear and a bow.
Yeah.
Right? He's hunting for dinner right now. You let him hunt. All right? You let him hunt. Hopefully, Robbie Ashford's not the quarterback, which is going to look
I don't know why. Your hate for Robbie Ashford.
Hate's not a
lot
word.
of Stetson Bennett in this.
Hate's not a
There's
word.
a lot of Stetson
Hate's
Bennett.
not the word. I just don't think he's that
out.
good. Right? I don't think there's hate behind it. I just don't think he's a great quarterback. I feel like he's a great slot.
Nobody's saying he's a great quarterback, but in that RPO system, his ability to run, just throw it good enough. It's like Peyton Thorne's exact opposite problem. Can Peyton Thorne run it well enough in this RPO system? Because that's what it's going to be. All right, SEC Media Days, Hugh Freeze talked about Philip Montgomery's going to call the plays. I know that, but it's still his system. This is going to be the three-man surface method. All right, we're affecting 3 different areas at the same time.
I get it.
Playing with the eyes and confusing
Can Robbie
guys.
throw good enough? You know, that's what I'm worried about. I don't know if he can.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know.
That's the biggest question. David, obviously, you know, we talk about how important the trenches are. We know the trenches are the most important. Auburn just got a center from Northwestern as well, our offensive lineman from Northwestern that's going to help up front. And that's where you're going to bridge the gap the quickest. But the on-the-field stuff, you don't have to go 9-3 this year. You don't have to go 10-2. You go 8-4, the right 7-5. You carry that positive momentum, but I'm telling you, just it smells different right now.
Yeah,
down
this
in the
week was a
Plains.
great testament of what Hugh Freeze is capable of doing, especially on the recruiting trail. And this is just a perfect relationship at the perfect time. You have a guy who's a really solid football coach and who's won in the SEC already, but who needs redemption as a person, needs a second chance as a man. And you have a program here who's capable of winning at the highest levels and who just needed that guy who will come in and do the dirty work, who will come in and who will recruit these guys and go out and actually put in the time and the effort. And now it's a perfect time for this to have a big week like this as we're leading into the season with the momentum like you talked about, because now on top of this, you start with UMass. Then you go to California, and then you have Samford before you start SEC play. If you're able to capitalize with getting these big-time flips from your biggest rivals and you start 3-0, maybe you win at Texas A&M and you're 4-0 before you go into play Georgia, then and it's a win-win, because now if you go in and you're winning a lot of football games, you can, great players are going to come play for you because they want to play for great schools. If you lose one of these, you lose at Georgia or at Texas A&M, then you can go and tell these kids, hey, see, you're the missing piece. We've got everything set up. You're the guy who can come in and help us win those big games that we're just barely losing.
Yeah, and 5-star #1 safety prospect in the country, KJ Bolden. It's looking like Auburn has a really good chance there. We're going to talk with Josh Newberg, like I said, about that with On 3. And we want to talk to you about whatever you want to talk about. If you want to brag on your team, if you want to rag on your team, or if you want to drag another team, we're taking your calls live at 7:30 a.m. Central. That's 8:30 a.m. Eastern. 1-855-236-3228. But I talked about it smelling great. You know what else smells great? Tailgates, especially when you have the right meat selection. And our friends and sponsor of the show, Good Ranchers, they've got everything in their bag now, including pork, which we know how jacked. Speaking of jacked and tan, I don't know if I've ever been more excited about anything in my life, because we used to talk about Good Ranchers. The chicken's fantastic. The steak will change your life. Free bacon for a year. Look at me, don't look at me. Then they added the pork box. Ooh, girl, stop. And this new pork box, it comes with bone-in and boneless pork chops, sausage, smoked brats, and more. Every time I read this ad, I know it's like 6:50 in the morning, but my mouth starts watering. And plus, Blaine, listen to this. Right now, you'll get $30 off with our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at goodranchers.com. The boxers are the way to go. The butcher's box to me is the way to go. You get the new pork box. That's just adding to it. David, you're a grill master. I mean, again, how excited are you about the pork situation at Good Ranchers?
Man, first of all, we found out about this a couple months ago when we were talking with the owners. They said, just get ready because pork is coming. That's all I needed to hear. Because I'm already eating the steak and chicken. We're probably doing 4 or 5 times a week right now with the steak and chicken in my family. Now you add pork to the mix with the bone-in pork chops, all that. That's all I needed to hear, man.
Yeah, and I want the chat to get hot. I want them to go to goodranchers.com, use that promo code BOOSTER to get $30 off. But I want to know, what is the best tailgating food? To me, it's chicken wings. Okay, I put this out on Twitter, really blew up. I got to give Brandon Walker credit from Barstool. He had the little Smokies, that you put in the barbecue sauce and the grape jelly at the tailgate.
Yeah.
Those are absolute just gasoline at a tailgate.
Yeah.
But I want to know, what is the best tailgate food out there? I know chicken wings are messy. Okay, I understand that. I get that. But grow up, buy some napkins. I don't want to tailgate and walk away clean. Okay? Especially you've been out there, you got a night game. Maybe you've had a Bloody Mary to kick off the morning. You get around lunchtime. Wings are a great tailgate food. Some people said they weren't. And I think those people should be investigated by some branch of the government. But go to goodranchers.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER for $30 off any box. That's promo code BOOSTER at goodranchers.com. Goodranchers.com. American meat delivered. And it's delicious. And let's all be friends together. What's going on in the Booster Club?
Sister Riggs, also the queen.
Yes.
The Booster Club, she says, how long before Hugh Freeze disappoints Jake? As anybody wants to guess. Because they did keep an Auburn count in there. In your monologue, the amount of times you said Auburn, I believe it.
Well, it was about Auburn.
Hey, that's just what they got in there. Don't yell at me.
Okay.
All right. I think they got up to 13.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was what the monologue was about.
So how long until Hugh Freeze?
Yeah, if I was talking about Batman, I'd probably said Batman 13 times.
We don't talk about Fight Club. You know that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Welcome to it.
How long? How long till Hugh disappoints you, Jake?
Well, it's, again, what are we saying? Disappointing. If it was the right 7 and 5, I'd be disappointed. I mean, if 6 years from now Auburn hadn't won anything, I'd be disappointed. But look what he inherited. I mean, at the end of the day, with Brian Harsin, I mean, Auburn was at its lowest point, the Harsin hostage crisis. Finally done. Thank goodness. They let everybody go. Nobody was harmed but feelings. That was it. All right, what else we got?
So Texas said, which team is more sure bet to meet the 6.5 wins this year? Auburn or Kansas?
Well,
they're
have
both
Auburn
at 6.5? I mean, I got to go Auburn.
Why don't you pull Kansas schedule?
Yeah.
All right. So Auburn, UMass, California, Samford, like we said. Then Texas A&M, Georgia, LSU on the road. Ole Miss at home, Mississippi State at home, at Vanderbilt, at Arkansas, New Mexico State, and Alabama both at home.
But let me know when you got Kansas. I feel like 7 and 5.
To get to 6 or to get to 7?
6.5.
Yeah.
So you're saying 7.
All right, what's Kansas?
All right, you have Montana State week 1, Illinois at home week 2. You go to Nevada week 3, BYU and the boys at home. You go to Texas, UCF at home, at Oak State, Oklahoma at home, to Iowa State, Texas Tech at home.
I'm going Auburn.
I'll take Auburn.
Yeah, I'm
Kansas
taking
State
Auburn.
at home, then at Cincinnati.
I'm taking Auburn. Look, that
sucks.
I'll take Auburn.
That Montana State game, that isn't exactly just let's hold hands and everybody be friends and walk through the tulips together. That one's going to be a fist fight. One of the groomsmen at our wedding, my boy Sam Mix, the wide receiver,
Yeah.
there, Mixie. I'm telling you.
That guy's wild.
Look, they're huge white and
Yeah,
pissed.
Sam's wild.
Like, that's just how it goes down at Montana State. I remember, if you donate, you get your question asked.
Speaking of that, Brian Hall, the $10 donation. Appreciate it, Brian. He says, what are the only 4 NBA players to win the MVP regular season scoring title? You knew this was coming. First team all defense and win playoff scoring title and a championship in the same year.
Wow, that was a hell of a pivot.
Pretty.
What was the question again?
What are the only 4 NBA players to win the MVP regular season scoring title? David, I'm surprised you haven't screened this.
Michael Jordan's one of them. Duh.
Yeah, it's Michael Jordan's all of them. He put MJ, and the GOAT MJ.
Oh, I see where he's going with this.
What was it? So
MVP scoring title, first team all defense, win the playoff scoring title, and a championship in the same year.
Yeah. Pills are good.
Yeah.
Cole Frank, $2 donation. We know what's coming with this one. LeBron is mid. MJ's the GOAT. And Jake, where were you?
What do you mean, where
were you,
It's
dude?
documented evidence.
Where were you, man?
I was over there. Crunching the numbers.
Let's go to CB Dog 4. Said it'd be legit, jaw on the floor if KJ Bolden goes to Auburn. He is admitting to telling every school what they want, including the school I root for. Happy for Auburn. Let's not do 100 on side roads.
Yeah, no, look, it's going to be tough. It's talking about Georgia, who, by the way, Georgia got a 4-star linebacker commit, Chris Jones, as well. So it's like Georgia, loses the player. They're like, oh, wait, yeah, is Captain America there? Let's go ahead and offer him.
I don't know if he'd start.
Yeah, he'd probably be a bag. It'd take him a couple years. He'd have to get in the weight room. KJ Bolden, if he does that would be one of the biggest recruiting coups that I could remember. You talk about pulling a guy to nowhere. I know there's some.
Isn't he meeting with Auburn last before his decision?
He said he was going to talk, but again, you say that, and then all of a sudden, all right, see ya. Hang up the phone. Now Kirby calls. What are you going to do? You're not going to answer it? Then hold on, Saban's calling. Then hold on, Moses is calling.
They're going to be pretty good this
yeah, they are.
Let's go
the
to
Bible.
Yeah,
pretty good. Let's go to Sean Kedstever. Coney, what is Oregon State doing? Swearing loyalty to the Pac-12. While everyone else has rumors of leaving.
They're doing what Jake just said. They're saying what they need to say, and at the last minute, they'll do whatever is best for them. It's survival of the fittest out there right now.
Yeah, and that's a great segue. Let's go ahead and get into best and worst.
Best and worst. All right, who wants to start?
I'll start.
Come on, Frenchie.
I don't like that.
That's crazy.
No, I don't like
Frenchie.
that. I'm not Jeff Francoeur.
French Bulldog.
Dude,
goes to France.
I am a mime.
Football fans in general. This week you have a lot of teams, including in the SEC, starting off fall camp. We know what's going on in the NFL. You're already seeing the early fights. I mean, poor 43 against Travis Kelce. That'd be the most risky fight of his life. But it's back, right? It really never leaves. But you start fall camp, the excitement. I've been out of coaching now for going on 3.5, 4 years, but the excitement of getting out there, even though you're in panties early, then you get into shells during the acclimation, and then you go full, which the amount of practices in 2-a-days is obviously a lot different now than it used to be back then. But I will say this. You'll have a lot of shows. You'll have a lot of sports media members in college football. NFL, not so much, but they just hype everybody, right? Like everybody's going to be good. Don't fall for that as a fan, right? We tell you win the water cooler. It's like being a passer, right? We talk about this with Joe Milton all the time. There's nuance in projecting. You can't say, oh, everybody's going to have a great year. You have some people in sports media like, oh, man, he's going to have a great year. You just ask them, they're like, man, just to get clicks. Sometimes you just got to say what you really think. But when it comes down to fall camp, that early morning, the way the grass smells, the way that heat starts to hit the turf there in August, even though it sucks later. But I'll say what I say all the time. There is no greater sport, there is no greater community than the football community, and it's back, and I'm so excited. We're, less than 4 Saturdays until week 1? I'm not going to call it week 0 because I'm an adult, so that's my best. I'm just excited it's back. Got college football, then the NFL. We know recruiting's ramping up. I love it. I love it so much.
Blaine?
Yeah, I love football too. Hey, I'd go a little Justin Gaethje. UFC over the weekend knocked out Dustin Poirier. I don't know if he had that video, but it was round 2. I think UFC 291.
To the face.
You think you go back, and this was huge for Gaethje, probably one of the biggest highlights of his career. That's why they call him the highlight. The dude's an absolute witch. First of all, both these guys are savages.
Yeah.
All right, like both these guys, like the amount of disrespect you have to do to get in that, to go fight this. But Dustin opened his eye up. You see it right there. Dustin opened his eye up in the first round with a knee, but Justin came back in the second round with a head kick. Hit him with the hi-ya.
There were 2 head kicks, right?
Hit him with the hi-ya, brought disrespect to his family and dishonor. We all know that. But it was a great fight. Huge for him. Probably after this win, he got his revenge after the first time they fought in 2018. He'll be fighting for the lightweight heavy title.
Yeah, bout of your sunset.
I like that. I've got a couple here. My first one, I'll go fighting too. In the boxing world, Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford absolutely demolished Errol Spence Jr. This is one of the biggest fights that we've been waiting for a while here. Terrence Crawford now 40-0, 31 knockouts, undisputed welterweight after winning this fight. First man to hold all 4 belts at the 147 division. Knocked him down twice in the second, knocked him down in the 7th, put him away in the 9th. Just an absolute machine. The kid from Omaha.
The best right now.
40-0 undefeated. And then my new adopted team, the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Man, they are just putting together an arsenal, trading for Max Scherzer, trading for Jordan Montgomery. They're like, hey, this is our shot.
Yeah. It hadn't been this good in a while. You might as well go all in. It reminds me of Chris Moneymaker, World Series of Poker, right? First time he's making news. What does he do when he gets a chance? He goes all in. Flops an ace on the river. Famous. I love it. Jordan Montgomery kind of sliding under the radar because the Cardinals are not having a great year. Mm-hmm. He's on my fantasy team, so obviously I've kept up with him. Jordan, appreciate what you're doing. Thanks. Max Scherzer also on the fantasy team. Glad for Cat Eyes. Get him out off the Mets so that I can actually
get him out of there.
Yeah.
And Rangers still leading the division by 1 game.
I know.
Astros a game back.
I know. It's how crazy would it be to see the Rangers actually hold on to this thing? You know, we talked about it at the deadline.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervy about the Reds. We're seeing how that's going, especially with the Brew Crew, what's going on there. But the Rangers, they're surviving. You just got to survive, man. They're making moves, and good for them. Good on teams that make moves when they grab some momentum. They're not just, grabbing a few cans and running in the panic room like Jodie Foster and just racking up in case, to build for the future. In case it all comes tumbling down, which I think's lyrics from a song. I'm not 100% sure.
It's in a song.
But they're taking a chance. And I know I get called the traitor. I don't want to go into that right now. But as a newfound Rangers fan, for a multitude of reasons, have to be excited about them making moves. And I'm just watching the Braves, ho-hum, ho-hum.
For super American reasons, so you can't call me a traitor.
Yeah, you can contort it however you want.
How about the Reds back on top of the division, though, by a half game? That's what happens when the Brewers play the Braves.
I watched Ellie De La Cruz run from home plate to third base in under 11 seconds, which, let me just go ahead and tell you, you know what, fast is in major leagues, running to first? Because obviously it's not the 40, right? It's 6.6.
Yeah.
Second to first. That's how fast you ran to first. He ran to third, from home to third, in 10.83 seconds.
Wow. I heard you did it 9.5, right, Blaine?
7.5.
7.5?
Dude.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Did you just go from home to third, or did you hit first and second?
No, that's how fast Blaine got from...
I actually ran from home to foul pole and back home.
Yeah, no, that's how fast Blaine got home. Literally from going out the other night.
That was crazy. I love when you said, what'd you say? You said flopped an ace on the river.
Yeah.
The flops, the first 3 cards.
I turned an ace on the river. Sorry, I'm not a ace about. You're not turning this on to watch me and Phil Hellmuth drop a bunch of poker. But you can't flop something on the river.
The flop's the first.
I know what the flop is when they show you the cards, but I mean, technically, you know what? I can't even believe we're going down this road.
We're talking about a flopping situation?
Yeah, we're talking about a flopping situation. Speaking of LeBron. Anyways, worst?
Worst.
What do you got, David?
Man, what should I go with? You know what? I'm going to take the this situation with the Colts right now. Jonathan Taylor requesting a trade, and Colts owner Irsay saying, no, we're not going to trade you. And it's a lot of unnecessary drama right now. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, one of the best backs in the league, led the league in rushing right when he got into the NFL. Why are we requesting trades already? There's a time to leave a team. That's when your contract is up. I mean, I understand you might want a new contract, or maybe you're unhappy with ownership, but you play for the Colts, and you need to play your season out. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and the offensive line does need to play better this year for the Colts. I think they're the highest paid offensive line, one of the highest paid offensive lines. They underachieved last year. It was just such a disaster, but the drama with running backs in general right now is just at an all-time high. I mean, and I get the contract negotiation side of it, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, it's here. It's not now. They're not going to trade you.
No,
you think you're going to talk them into doing it?
What are you going to do? Not play?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Request a trade? Yeah. No, the team will decide if they want to trade you.
It just feels like somebody said something about
you what you want.
Found out. Like somebody said something like that they didn't want you to find out about you. Like maybe that you're not a great person, or like you suck at parking or something, and then you found out and now you want to leave. It seems like that situation, but who knows? Go ahead, Blaine.
Yeah, my worst was a little personal experience over here.
You good?
Played softball this weekend.
Oh boy,
played softball. Had a doubleheader on a Sunday, which I'm still hurting from. But during the beginning of it, had a guy come up to me who was on the other team. Walked up to me and said, Flaming Dragon, what's up?
Yes.
I was like, one of us.
Yes.
One of us. It just felt amazing. It's always
How was this worse?
This way. But last inning, bottom of the 6th, we're up 1 run. And softball's nuts.
So you lost.
So, no, we won. But the last out was him.
No.
And he hit me the fly ball.
Oh, no.
So the entire time, I know it's him. He's up the plate. I'm just like, please don't hit me the ball.
But he would expect nothing less from
It's just what, I caught it. We won. But, first of all, I never got his name. We talked about big Utah fans, so shout out to Utes. But, it's one of those things like, what monster have I become?
Don't hit the ball to Flaming Dragon.
Who am I anymore? How do I look at myself in the mirror? I'm taking out one of my own.
The whole point of Flaming Dragon is that you take no prisoners.
Yeah.
There's no survivors. You kill them all.
But when we start attacking our own, that's when...
He came at you.
Hold on. What if
he came at you?
I should have let it go.
No.
And if you had, what if he had been like, ha, 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 and made fun of you,
then I'd have to burn his house
clowned
down.
you,
I don't want
and then
to
said, you're not a dragon after all. That's
he
what
wouldn't
you
have
get.
done that. You know why? Because you was one of those things. You ever seen the Avatar movies where they put the hair in the back of the dragon they learned to ride?
Is that
probably
the blue
haven't.
ones? The blue guys?
Yeah, the blue ones. It was one of those situations. We connected. He was under the wing already.
Yeah.
And I took advantage of it.
The meme that somebody's going to create, just with some random guy's face and Blaine, I'm already.
It just hurt. It didn't feel right. The wind didn't feel great.
Yeah, my worst is this whole Jeremy Pruitt situation.
Why is that?
It's just.
Tell the people about it.
Okay, if you don't know Jeremy Pruitt, the old coach of Tennessee got fired with cause, has a 6-year show cause ban basically from the NCAA. So if anybody hires them, they get on probation for a year and, get, punishment, whatever. But now he is the PE teacher at Plainview High School in Alabama, and he's the junior high basketball coach. And it's just Kenny Powers vibes to me. And I love Kenny Powers. Eastbound Down's one of my favorite shows. But Jeremy Pruitt, look, say what you want about him being a head coach. There's been a lot of guys that were great coordinators that didn't end up being great head coaches. It's a totally different job. But it's sad to see you fall from grace, man. And yeah, can blame himself. He should. I get it, right? We know the whole situation, the way it went down in Tennessee. Let's not act like he wasn't doing stuff that everybody else wasn't doing before NIL. Everybody's doing it. Absolutely everybody's doing it. And it's like when you get in a conversation with some people and they're like, oh, well, yeah, your school got cheated. Your school was cheating. And yours wasn't. And then they pull a Mitch McConnell and just freeze there for 30 seconds because they know that I know that they know that we know they cheated too. It's just a tough situation. And I can just imagine him right now just telling some fat kid sitting on the bleachers the first day of school, now that it's coming back up, it's like, listen, I don't care how many pull-ups or push-ups you can do. You're not going to impress me. So
I don't mind it. I like it.
No, he's
got to get on with his life. What's he going to do? Just not do anything?
He does, but it's like the show cause thing, right? It's more for that to me. I understand the rule, but at what point, if you're Jeremy Pruitt, do you not look at the NCAA and you're like, are you really going to do it? I watch Penny Hardaway look at him and laugh.
That's what Jim Harbaugh needs to do.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that. Hamburglar?
Yeah, that's what he needs.
Yeah, you got the grimace.
What are they going to do? Bar you from the big house?
No, that's the thing. And they say, oh, well, if a school hires you, then they have to serve some sort of penalty. But what if the school just tells them, no, we're not? What's it? It's like when you get as bigger than your dad, and he's like, you better watch it. I'm going to beat your ass. It's like, oh, really, you are? For real? Now, you never want to disrespect your father and throw hands with him. But at the end of the day, like we said, but you got to bow to your sensei at some point. It just is what it is.
I got I don't know if you want to see this vid. There's a vid we had over the weekend.
Oh, you got to show this.
Honorable mention.
You got to show this.
A couple guys from the out west talking to the council. Go ahead and let's run it up a little bit.
About aliens, right?
About aliens, yeah.
What up, council? My name is Chad Kroger, and I've never been more stoked to speak to y'all. Aliens are real. More aliens are coming. That's why I'm proposing that the city of Los Angeles set up a welcome party for our new green buddies. This needs to be the ultimate rager. We need to have a DJ. I think Zed would crush it. Imagine aliens cruising in to Clarity bumping on the speaks. Then for catering, I'm thinking Pedro's Tacos. We've got to support local cuisine. And small biz, what up? We gotta have a good ratio. So maybe, Councilman, you could fly in some pro volleyball players. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
And then we gotta be sponsored by Dev's Liquor. Endless supply of vodka. That's Krush. I think we need a surprise appearance by Tom DeLonge from Blink-182. We owe that dude a massive apology. Sorry, Tom. And everyone be chill, too. We can't all be like, who do you know here? We gotta treat these dudes like they grew here, not like they flew here. Guys, I am so stoked. All right, late.
Dude, those guys are hilarious. Dude, when you showed me that, the Tom DeLonge part, absolutely.
The amount of times I've said Krush since I've seen that video is dangerously unhealthy.
Yeah, but
dangerously unhealthy.
But speaking of Krush, right? If you're one of the millions of American men and women that are dealing with premature hair thinning, or maybe you're just worried about inheriting hair loss because it runs in the family, we know you looked at your dad and your granddad, and you're worried about it. And I understand. I totally get it. It's something you should worry about. You're checking every day. Hey, is that bald spot forming? Why is there so much hair in the drain? I'm kind of panicking. Well, finally, you're panicking, Skywalker. Finally, there's a real solution that delivers on its promise without the harsh side effects and unwanted chemicals. That's Provia. All right, it's Provia. They use safe natural ingredient called Procapil, okay, that effectively targets the three main causes of premature hair thinning and loss. I don't know why, Blaine. I laugh when I look at you and read this. You're not losing your hair.
Dude.
Like all over.
Why are you looking at me and laughing?
But I just think about what you said that one time we were reading that ad. And you're like, if you're trying to get back in the dating game too.
Yeah.
You know, look, you're 43.
Look, you don't want to walk in. You don't want to walk in and look like, you're the leader of the X-Men.
You better be smart or rich.
Do you really want to have to be that funny?
Yeah.
Do you really want to have to be that funny? Just look good. It's 70% of the battle.
For sure. So take advantage of Provia's exclusive introductory summer package at proviahair.com/booster. That's PROVIA.com/booster. Enter promo code booster at checkout and you get an extra discount on your order. See results for yourself right now. Don't wait. That's proviahair.com/booster. Get out of a hairy situation by creating a hairy situation.
You say panicking Skywalker?
Yeah.
That's solid.
Thank you.
That's crude.
I just said it's a disorder. All right, we got Josh Newberg coming up here at 7:15. We got your calls at 7:30. Line's probably going to be packed today. Obviously, we got college football, NFL, all that stuff starting as well. But we do have rapid fire, but I got to get to the Booster Club real quick. DC.
Go to Nino Brown _T2T.
Nino.
Says, can Robbie Ashford be this year's Anthony Richardson?
Without the going number 4 overall part.
Yeah, I don't think he's going number 4 overall. But when you look at potential, right? Again, and a lot of things have potential. A lot of people don't fulfill their potential. The way Robbie Ashford threw the ball in spurts last year, the way he threw it against Alabama, if you've shown me that you can do something, I think that you can recreate it. Now, the question is, how many times can you recreate it, and can you recreate it in crucial situations? Robbie Ashford has elite running ability. Elite. Top 10 runner of the football at quarterback. So when you're running, it's not like this is a drop-back passing system. This isn't a pro-style system. This isn't, let's line up in 12 personnel, let's get heavy, let's get downhill, let's run gap scheme, let's run boot, things like that. This is, let's get in gun, let's get in 10, let's get in 11. We'll go heavy when we have to. Let's run some gadget plays. But the legs affecting the safeties, the legs affecting the nickels, the legs affecting the defensive ends when they're having to attack the mesh, however you're calling it as a DC. Sometimes I'd have the end attack the back and wrap that linebacker for the quarterback. We had a scope call where we'd change it up and mix it up. But it puts so much pressure on a defense that it's like dribbling with your left, right, in basketball. Who are the guys that can kill you the most? Yeah, he may be right-handed. Yeah, he may shoot right-handed. Yeah, he may be better going to his right. But if he's good going to his left, you can't play him to one side or the other. So I think Robbie Ashford has a ton of potential. We'll see it. We'll see if it pans out in this system. I think it's a great fit. They didn't bring Peyton Thorne in to sit the bench.
Say. I mean, it just seems unlikely this kid transfers from Michigan State with a starting role and all that experience.
He'd have to win it. Robbie would have to really win.
To sit on the bench.
I agree with you.
All right, let's go to M. Hutton. He said Irsay made some questionable comments about running back value right after JT reported to camp.
Yeah, and it was right before that meeting that they had. And what was the word he used? Questionable comments?
Yeah.
Is that what he used?
Yeah.
I want to pull up exactly what he said.
The thing about that is, like, what do you think you're going to go to another franchise that doesn't look at the analytics? Oh, yeah, well, that's fine. Here, it's Jonathan Taylor. Here's all our money. If it was one team that was doing this, or 2 or 3 teams that was devaluing the running back position monetarily, that would be one story. It's the league because they look at the sheet. Okay, you follow, it's like a Disney movie. You follow the bouncing balls. We had the great graphic of teams that have won the Super Bowl and who's performed best in the Super Bowl.
All right, here it is. The NFL running back situation, we have negotiated a collective bargaining agreement that took years of effort and hard work and compromise in good faith by both sides. To now say that a specific player category wants another negotiation after the fact is inappropriate. Some agents are selling in bad faith.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's questionable about that. Those are the facts.
I don't think that's a crazy thing.
Then you had people like his agent retweeting and stuff saying some things are better left unsaid. Sometimes you need to say the truth.
Yeah.
You know what? Your running back then, after hearing that, wants to be traded. I don't want to play for your team anymore. We got to grow up at some point, man.
Well,
we got to grow up. Again,
this is a league-wide situation. Why? Because that's what the market is showing. That's what the analytics are showing. You have a cap. Like, this is how it works. It's nature. Nature versus nurture. Nature always wins. All right, what else we got?
Go to One True King. It says, can Oregon drop 2 games and still make the playoff? Their schedule is pretty rough.
You'd have to have a lot of help.
I don't see it.
You'd have to have a lot of help around you. Obviously, those would have to be 2 regular season games. I don't think you could drop the conference championship game and be able to get in. There would have to be a log jam. An absolute logjam. And those 2 losses, I mean, pulling up Oregon's schedule, I know they played Texas Tech on the road week 2. That's going to be tough. Like I told you right now, I like the Red Raiders to win that game. But no, I don't think any team out of the Pac-12, even with Caleb Williams, the face of college football, the face of NIL, can drop 2 games. Especially, Georgia looks like they're probably going to go through the regular season undefeated.
Yep.
Which means they can lose the conference championship game in the SEC and still get in. SEC typically gets 2 in. What happens if we get basically a replay of Michigan and Ohio State last year, where one of them runs the table? They're both in the same division. Last year, divisions in the Big Ten. This year, I love Wisconsin, what they're doing over there. There's some good young teams over there in the Big Ten West that I like, but they're not ready to compete right now with Ohio State and Michigan. I just don't see it. And that's not even talking about Florida State or Clemson in the ACC. And then, you look at the Big 12. Hell, TCU made it all the way to the national championship game last year. And Kansas State, even though they lost that little witch, Deuce Vaughn, who's out there just, groundhogging his way through NFL defenses right now, they're going to be good.
I just don't think a 2-loss team can get in from the Pac-12.
I don't think
I think
so.
Maybe from the SEC West and then possibly from the Big Ten East, but I still don't think so because I think you'll have one of those teams have 1 loss and they eat each other up, right? Only one of those teams can go play in the conference championship. So
definitely. Well, remember we got call-ins 7:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 1-855-236-3228. I'd go ahead and probably call here pretty soon because I know the line's going to be pretty packed. But let's get to rapid fire.
All right, let's get to some stuff here from the NFL. First up, Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow is likely to miss several weeks after suffering a leg injury at practice this past week. You hate to see it, and I pulled up the Bengals schedule. The first 2 weeks of the season are divisional opponents. They're on the road at the Browns, and then they have the Ravens at home.
Well, this is where having the preseason games and the way the NFL starts later than college football helps you. This is where it does. It gives you time to recoup. He's just got to be healthy going into week 1. That's the biggest thing. That's what it's going to come down to. Joe Burrow, from a getting ready standpoint, last year, remember, he was injured when they were working. I remember him on the cart when they were doing conditioning. He was driving the cart on the gassers back and forth. You do worry, though, and I know the Bengals showed flashes of improving last year on the offensive line. I mean, hell, they couldn't get much worse than what they were.
Worse than the league.
But when a quarterback is put in such a situation that Joe Burrow is, where he's having to extend the plays inside the pocket and outside of the pocket, as good as he is at that, getting hurt before we even kick this thing off, it is worrisome. It's a great point about the divisional opponents early. I think Joe Burrow will be ready when he's physically ready. I'm not worried about him being mentally ready. He's already proven that he can bounce back from injuries. Let's just hope that he heals quick.
Thank God it's not torn. So nothing's not torn. It's a calf strain, right? That's what it came back as, a calf strain.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to lock you in a hyperbaric chamber. We're going to freeze you until the season starts.
That's
literally what I'm doing. Other than that, you're always scared. Joey had the ACL. I mean, you got to think about the contract this guy's about to get.
I know.
They're about to pay him in a solar system.
For sure.
Like, that's what he's going to get, especially what Justin Herbert just got paid, what this man's going to get paid. Glad it wasn't a tear. It'd be the biggest loss for the Bengals. Nothing could be bigger because their offensive line have gotten better.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest, most improved O-line probably last year.
Without a doubt. If I'm the Bengals, I'm getting a representative from every major religion just to come into the field or just to stand around Joe Burrow.
I'm just out there.
I'm talking about from like Catholicism all the way, to give me a shaman or whatever. We'll get way out there, whatever it takes. Give me one of those Scientologists, whatever. Just from A to B, we're hedging our bets.
Next up, Sony Michel, former Georgia Bulldog, has retired from the NFL after 5 seasons. Did pick up 2 Super Bowls along the way, though. First with the Patriots in his first year, and then he got one with the Rams, too.
Rams, yeah.
Hell of a career. One of the things I loved about Sony, and then Nick Chubb as well, they were in a big wave of Georgia, leading up to this kind of dominant period where they're in. He was a complete back to me. He's one of those guys that did everything. And in a world where, speaking of running backs, even in college, you're getting more specialized and, here's my third down back. Here's my better pass protecting back. Here's my big playmaking back, my scat back, whatever you want to call it. He was a complete guy. He could pass protect, catch the ball out of the backfield, was very, very effective. There's a reason Bill Belichick wanted him at the Patriots. Bill Belichick doesn't typically take guys that don't work hard, that aren't good team guys. Now, they do specialize the running backs in New England, especially when Tom Brady was there. You think about James White and some of the things they did in the red zone. But at the end of the day, Sony Michel, great career. You got your Super Bowls. Was a great college back, and you made your money, man. Hats off to you. And you know what? You're getting out while you can still move around.
Were they all in the same backfield?
You talking about Nick Chubb?
Was it TG, Sony, and Chubb in the backfield at the same time?
I thought Todd Gurley was a little older.
I thought he was. I thought Todd was older.
Okay.
That might be right, though.
That might be right. I just didn't think they played, but I thought TG and Sony were on the...
Yeah.
All right, next one up here. There's some drama out of Minnesota with PJ Fleck, and Coach PJ Fleck a little bit, but he's having to defend some allegations against former players right now. I guess several former players told Front Office Sports that Fleck would overlook positive drug tests and other team rule violations for players who had accumulated enough goodwill throughout a point system that they called the Fleck Bank. The former players and others said excessive workouts were used as punishment and described a cult-like culture that contains significant intimidation.
Okay, we got to make sure and understand there's a huge difference in what happened in Northwestern, where a bunch of guys put on masks, turn the lights off, and dry hump people, and then having punishments for people and celebrating when they do good. Like this. Second thing, it's all a cult. College football is a cult. For sure. It's the best cult ever. It's awesome. I love it. Hell, a team in the NFL is called the Colts. Right? Now, I know one spelled with a U and one spelled with the O, but excessive running for punishment? How else are you going to punish somebody? What, are you going to put you in timeout? There is such thing as overworking people, right? Or going too far. You don't have to be the Junction Boys, right? I'm not asking you to be John David Crow out here and just, and Paul Bear Bryant go out there where there's briars and fire ants all over everybody. But you're running because you made a mistake. And hey, guess what? You've been a great person this far. We've documented this. You made a mistake. Well, you've shown us more good than bad. And depending on that mistake, we have our ways of handling it different because we don't believe you're that type of person. This is the softest thing. If you read this article, this is the softest thing ever. Basically, what this is saying is, you will treat me different if I accumulate a lot of goodwill and then make a mistake, but don't punish me by running me if I do something bad. Like
can't
this
coach
is just
kids anymore, man.
You can't. Like this is the softest. I'm not the biggest PJ Fleck fan. I think he's fake. I do think he's fake. I don't think he's a terrible ball coach. Do I think he can really go up there and draw up, split zone? No, not really. But he's more of a CEO type in the row the boat stuff. It's cute. He's like one of those salesmen, right? He's like kind of like Better Call Saul. Right? Just, hey, let's give him a good show, whatever. But this is just soft. It's just soft. I don't know another way to describe it.
So okay. So it's called Flex Bank? Is that what you called it?
Fleck Bank.
Fleck Bank?
Fleck Bank.
So like if you do enough good things, like you'll be okay if you bust positive on a drug test.
He said that's inaccurate. That's what some
so that's
players said. He said we've never allowed.
Well, if that's true,
he said we've never allowed players to get away with violations.
Okay.
But we do have a system here. And when I first started, it was called, we nicknamed it the Fleck Bank. But essentially, like what Jake's saying, which every coach in the country does, you have a goodwill program, and
for sure, but there's certain things.
Well, how many coaches
you have accumulated good things you shouldn't be able to do?
How many coaches don't get guys in trouble that are good players that pop positive on a drug test anyway? How many times did Honey Badger fail a drug test at LSU? Like,
no, I'm not saying
times?
that's a good thing.
No, I'm just, but again, at least you're attacking it in a way which you're rewarding people for good behavior, which I'm always a fan of. That isn't a cult to me. That's you've earned up enough goodwill. Listen, I'm still going to punish you for this. But maybe I won't punish you the way that I would have punished somebody that's done this 3 or 4 times or that hasn't done the community service or something that you've done. So I don't know. It's just soft to me. But I'll tell you somebody that's not soft. Our friend Josh Newberg over at On3 does a fantastic job over there. I don't know what's wrong right now with my voice. Kind of going in and out like Morgan Wallen a couple weeks ago.
French.
Except I really can't. That's not it. That's not it at all.
French in your blood, bro.
Josh Newberg on 3 is a host and producer, recruiting expert of all things. Big Colorado guy, which there's some Colorado news as well. Josh, first time on the show, man. Love what Shannon and everybody, Rusty and everybody's doing over there at On 3. It's we really appreciate you joining us.
Hey, man, having a great time here at On 3, launching this rocket ship. We're just getting started here.
Definitely, man. Well, speaking about rocket ships, we led off with Auburn. I want to get back to Hugh Freeze. I want to ask you about KJ Bolden. But I do want to talk about Florida State, too, here off the rip. They get Charles Lester, a big commit. And while we're still unsure about what's going on in Miami, even though I think Mario, giving some more time, letting those young guys get a little older up front, they're going to have a chance. Billy Napier, probably going to be choppy waters here in the next 2 years. South Florida, I hope Golish does well. Who knows? And UCF to the Big 12, who really knows? But Florida State right now in recruiting, can you just kind of speak about the week and weekend that they've had and just what Mike Norvell's doing down there?
Yeah, guys, it's really kind of come full circle since Mike Norvell took over. You mentioned where Florida is and where Miami is. Well, when Mike Norvell took over that Florida State program, they were the team on the bottom rung of the Big Three. They were the team that was entering with Dan Mullen having been there for 2 years and Manny Diaz having been there for 2 years. It was kind of the exact reversal of the situation Mike Norvell finds himself in now. Now he's the veteran coach with the built-in relationships with recruits. And he's the team that is, maybe, I don't want to say the winning program in Florida because all of them have been down pretty bad, but at least he's the best of the worst in the state of Florida. And it looks like Florida State has kind of turned that corner on the field. And now they've kind of turned that corner off the field on the recruiting trail as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. They're poised to have a big year. You mix that big recruiting class with that big year. That's how you really start to build the rocket ship. And, remember the Mike Norvell drama that was happening before last year and how the look that Florida State had with Prime rising up at Jackson State. He weathered that storm. And, they know about weathering storms down there in Florida, especially in Tallahassee. But when you look at what he's doing, it's unbelievably impressive. The facilities are getting better as well. But Josh, back to the Auburn front. Hugh Freeze has got a huge hill to climb with what's going on at Georgia, with what's going on in Alabama. But I let off the show with it. I cannot remember the last time that they flipped an Alabama and a Georgia player of this caliber, or really in general, in the same class, let alone within 4 days. Do you think that that Hugh Freeze and Auburn, that this may be a legitimate recruiting just turnaround and Febreze Brothers style fresh start?
The last week or two at Auburn would make you feel that way. It certainly would. And let's see what happens at the end of the week. Do they land another 5-star KJ Bolden? They flipped a 5-star from Alabama into Marcus Riddick, one of the top linebackers in the country. Over the weekend, they flipped Perry Thompson, a 5-star wide receiver that was committed to Alabama. And all of a sudden, the buzz is that they're maybe the favorite in 5 days to land the number 1 safety in America out of Buford High School in Georgia, KJ Bolden. So all of this is happening so fast, but obviously the results that you've seen from the last week or two didn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze has been laying this groundwork since he arrived at Auburn. I think they had a bit of a wake-up call when they lost the 5-star wide receiver to Texas A&M, but now they got things rolling. And to answer your question, I don't think this has ever happened. I talked to Jeffrey Lee of our Auburn Live site.
Yeah.
And yes, there's been times where they flipped a 5-star from Georgia. They flipped a 5-star from Alabama, but he ended up being a 4. I can almost equivocally say that Auburn has never in one cycle flipped a 5-star from both Alabama and Georgia.
Wow. KJ Bolden, right now, I know you followed that recruitment. I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but you're a guy that's very plugged in. That's why they call you the Glade Man. August 5th, that's when he's committing, I believe. That's the date that he has. Am I correct there? And where are you leaning anywhere?
KJ Bolden is committing August 5th on the On3 YouTube channel. So we will be hosting that commitment around 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And we'll also be covering Amari Jefferson about 3 hours earlier. He's a wide receiver picking between Alabama and Tennessee. So let's talk KJ Bolden here for a minute. Entering this commitment week, I don't know if I've ever seen, well, I shouldn't say ever, but at least in recent days or weeks or months, seen a recruitment where every team has some bit of optimism heading into this date of his commitment. It's kind of wild. I mean, he took this last visit to Auburn. He's been to Florida State multiple times. There's a ton of buzz around Ohio State. He's got family on the coaching staff there. But when it comes to KJ Bolden, look, the way Georgia's recruiting right now, I'm going UGA until it ain't.
Yeah, that's not a bad strategy at all.
Josh, Colorado's headed back to the Big 12. They joined the Pac-12 after the 2010 season. Now they're going back to their roots here. You know, what is this going to mean? Is this a good move for the Big 12? And what other dominoes are we going to see fall with the Pac-12 since they don't have that TV deal in place?
Oh man, the Pac-12 is decimated. I don't think they're not going to recover from this. And honestly, I don't think the Big 12 is going to be around much longer. I think eventually you're going to see two super conferences made up of the Big 10 and the SEC. And I'm not saying this is going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years. Maybe it will. But we've seen the tectonic plates shift in college football really for 15 years now. Yeah. And what you're noticing, if you take a step back, it's really just an arms race right now between the Big 10 and the SEC. Now, whatever they call those two conferences in the future, they call them in the future. But I think right now, yes, the Big 12 is trying to keep their head above water, but with the arms race that's taking place next to them, I think eventually the best teams from the Big 12 will also be engulfed into either the SEC or Big 10. Eventually, I'm not saying like it could happen in the next 2 or 3 years, but I do think eventually we see all of these power teams at two conferences. But to answer your question, I do think it was a good move from Colorado, at least from a financial perspective. You never want to be on a sinking ship. You don't want to be the last person on a sinking ship. And that is definitely what the Pac-12 is right now.
Now, I agree with you on every point there. And kudos to the Big 12 for finding a way to survive after we got the news for Texas and Oklahoma. Like, they're doing everything they can do. But I agree with you. Colorado's going to come back into a conference now that looks vastly different than the one they left 12 seasons ago. I mean, no more Missouri, Nebraska, Texas A&M. There won't be Texas or Oklahoma by the time they get in after this next season. So, you know, the $31 million a year is great, better than the situation they were in. But how many seasons is it going to take where the SEC and the Big Ten are just outpacing you before you look around and say, hey, we can't keep up at this rate, especially if Coach Sanders is still there? That's the thing. And it sounds like no one was surprised. I think this was all worked in. I mean, Tim Brando called this on our show back in December. My second question for you is, what's going on at Miami right now with the NIL situation and the the big donor that they have down there, John Ruiz, I believe it is. Yeah. What are the details out of Miami?
Well, if you ask anybody covering the program, well, except for the Miami Herald or anybody on the staff, they'll just say nothing to see here. It's all good. You know, the Canes Collective took over all the Ruiz contract. I'm not buying any of that. I mean, Miami just had Nevin Shapiro 2.0 right under their nose in terms of the fraud or the potential fraud that was taking place of investors' money. And he said that this was all going to be different, right? Because Life Wallet was an actual product that they were going to back it up with, and there was an actual return on ROI here. Of course, all of that was nonsense. We saw the numbers. They lost $400 million. The face of Miami NIL was very brief, but he will be remembered for a long time. They say that everything's okay, but I think there's more to this story, and I think there's also going to be more fallout to some of the NIL deals because they were overpaying a lot of guys just to get on campus, just to commit to the program. Well, what happens once those good recruits start playing? Of course, they're going to want more money than they came in with. So I think there's some roster disparity that they're going to have to deal with. There's going to be some financial speed bumps down the road. Miami is an interesting team to watch just because how far out in front or what they did in NIL that first year and how they're going to come back and kind of make it all right with John Ruiz gone.
Yeah, if there's federal laws that get mandated in NIL, Miami may be like the example of what they look to when they're trying to fix these laws. There's a couple other schools in there as well, but we're going to keep monitoring it. Speaking of monitoring, Blaine, what's up?
Josh, what's up, man? Hey, we're going to go to the Booster Club here with a little Texas Ed. He wants to know, how has conference realignment affected recruiting so far?
For Texas?
Yeah, for Texas, for anybody really.
For Texas specifically, it's been huge, and I think the early addition to the SEC also helped give them a bump. Mm-hmm. I talked with Colin Simmons, the 5-star edge out of Duncanville, Texas, and he even said back in the spring, "I want to go to a SEC school. I want to play in the SEC." And to him, with Texas now moving a year earlier, that was a big play for him. And I know that the Texas staff had been negatively recruited against that too, saying, "Oh, well, you're really only going to be in the SEC for this many years." They've been telling recruits that for a while now. And with the early entry into the SEC, I do think that Texas is capitalizing on it. They are using it to help land recruits. They are utilizing it in their recruiting speeches. So I think it's been huge. It's been big for Oklahoma. Oklahoma coming out off of a not so great season, but the excitement and the hope of joining the SEC and playing in a power conference like that has helped them on the recruiting trail.
Hey, Colorado's win total this year, 3.5. Am I taking that over or under?
Go for the over, right?
Oh, I love it.
Coach Prime.
I love it.
Go for the over. How many coaches does Coach Prime have right now?
I don't know. I mean, it's that I tell you what.
The over? Does he have 4?
I'm going to take. It's hard.
That's scared.
It's hard. It's hard for me to just think about. I still think Prime without 1 foot could go out there and lock somebody up.
Nah. Throw me the fade. Throw me the fade.
But
don't they open with TCU?
Here's the thing, though, with Colorado. Here's the thing, though, with Colorado, Josh, up front. Dude, are they going to have a chance? Like, skill position-wise, I think they got some guys that can go out there and play. But we know that's not the biggest difference maker, right? It's up front. Is Colorado just good enough up front to just survive a game against a team that is good up front, or multiple games to be able to get to that 4-win mark?
I mean, you look at that schedule, and in all honesty, if you look at that schedule, you try to find 4 wins, it's tough.
It's a Where's Waldo situation for sure.
Is a really good number right there. I mean, look at Colorado State, right? Like, that should be the one team on that schedule that Colorado can go out there and dominate. But, hey, if you're Colorado State and you've been sitting around all offseason and all you hear about is Coach Prime, like, even Colorado State is going to be ready to play Colorado this season. So it's going to be tough to find those 4 wins. However, the way he's going to sell it is this was a 1-win team last year. If they win 2 games, they just doubled their win total from the year before. I don't think they have what they need in the trenches yet, but I do think that Dion, with his ability to recruit, can turn this roster over in 2 seasons and really have a formidable roster.
It's one of the most fascinating stories to watch out there. But speaking about fascinating to watch, man, like we said, loving what y'all are doing over at On3. We love having guests on from over there and collabing with you guys. Josh, can't wait to have you on again, my friend. It's always a good time. I know we're just revving up, man. We're just revving up. Couldn't be more excited. Tell everybody where they can find your content individually as well.
Yeah, the On3 YouTube channel. I'll be dropping the Inside Scoop. That's our bi-weekly recruiting show. It airs Mondays and Thursdays, and we talk all things recruiting. It's a great time. Go check it out. Subscribe to the On3 YouTube channel.
Josh, thanks for joining us, man.
You got it. Thanks, boys.
Josh.
All right, thanks, Josh Newberg. Go give him a follow as well on social media. Really easy to find. Josh does a fantastic job over there. But let's get to the Booster Club real quick before call-ins.
Cole Frink, $2 donation. Cone, will you be the groundskeeper in the Discord?
Sure. Of course.
I love that.
I'm learning. I'm kind of learning Discord a little bit.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm understanding.
We'll meet the new groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Just got hired.
Yeah.
Good. Watch out for those gophers.
Another $2 donation from Cole. Appreciate it, Cole. Says, what do you guys think of Twitter now becoming X?
Everyone's going to call it Twitter. Why are we?
Look, I don't care what you call it, just as long as I know how to make it work. Like, just call it whatever you want. Call it Humpty Dumpty's Pudding Pie. I don't care. Like,
that's a heck of an app.
Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty's
I wouldn't
Pudding
Google that.
Pie.
No, I
don't Google that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. Like, it's just I use it. I know how to work it. I have success on there. Call it X, T, whatever.
Let's go to Peter Dorfatakis. Probably wrong.
You blew
Pro
that
hockey
one.
player.
Guys shouting out. Always wake up, you guys. Like I always say, old school guy loves your format.
Yeah.
He's also known as Pete the Greek.
Pete.
Yeah, Pete.
Yeah, Pete. What's up, man?
Yes,
That
sir.
big FSU too. Has good spaces on Twitter.
Let's go to Andrew Rivera. CU has a national championship, FYI, and CU football when I was growing up was a big deal here in Colorado. I know people think Coach Prime's a gimmick, but he's assembled a very good coaching staff.
Look, I'm going to give Prime the benefit of the doubt. I mean, again, you look at the cachet and the way that college football is now, and you look at the name that Deion Sanders, just the weight that carries, he can get guys to go to Colorado. It's going to come down to up front. That's what it's going to come down to. Let's not, again, wide receivers is great, DBs is great.
See where the cowboy hat on the sidelines during the game?
Probably.
Yeah.
Nothing. Why not?
Let's go. Coney, Texas Ed wants to know, what's your reaction to the recruit that pulled the Buckeyes jersey out of the Michigan backpack to announce where he signed?
We were just talking about this before the show started. First of all, he's from Ohio, right? You know, and he committed. I think I have this right. I think that's the kid who committed on his dad's birthday, who was a big Buckeye fan or something. You're not landing that guy if you're Michigan.
No.
Like, I'm sorry. And the whole pulling it out of a Michigan bag thing, Jake made a really good point on this earlier, which is you got close with these coaches who recruited you at other schools. It's sort of like, it's a slap in the face whenever these kids troll the other schools. And you said it best. Better play good.
Yeah, you better
play good.
You're
want to see you in Portal in 8 months.
You're instantly giving the other team, ammo. But again, I got no problem. You wanna pull the bulldog on stage, when you commit to Georgia. You wanna have 18 hats on the table and like look at one and toss it. I'm fine with that. But like when you go out of your way, and if you've ever been recruited, like you know how like the relationships that you form with these guys. Like it's not just like, oh hey man, we want you to come play here. All right, we'll see where you commit in 6 months. You have an offer from us. I just can't imagine, doing that to somebody that recruited me. I don't. What do you gain from that other than a little bit of pub, maybe us talking about it for 2 minutes? But that's not a guy that I'm looking at like, man, that guy's going to be the leader in the locker room.
I get guys wanting to have fun, and I understand the gravity of the situation. It could be the biggest moment in some of these kids' lives, but what's more impressive than seeing one of these kids go up there and actually treat it like a business decision, like they've been there before, even though they haven't, because it's one of the biggest situations. I know when we talked about Arch Manning's recruiting a lot, and it's different when your grandfather was one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks and both of your uncles are Super Bowl champions, but that was just part of the process. This is one small step in the process that is your football career. Go up there and be a professional.
For sure. All right. Let me know when you want to get the calls, D.
All right, let's go to Matty Ice, 1994, also known as Nighthawk. He said, Cone, I'm surprised Max Verstappen wasn't your best this week. Did he win again?
Yeah, we had that in rapid fire too.
Racing?
I might as well get to a couple other things we had here left over. Max Verstappen won his 8th straight win at the Belgian Grand Prix, 1 win away from Sebastian Vettel's 9 straight wins. That's in F1. And then the USA 12 and under baseball team beat New Zealand 43-1 in the opening of the world in the Baseball World Cup.
Absolute destruction. I will say we did go see Monaco. We did a lap on where they did the Grand Prix.
Really?
Insane.
Hey.
Dude, so Monaco, you don't pay taxes. But you know how much, try and guess how much a square foot costs to live in Monaco per square foot. Just try and guess.
Lot.
The lowest. I'll tell you the lowest that it costs.
$500 a square foot.
$50,000.
A square foot?
A square foot.
To live in Monaco?
So Monaco's like the smallest country or second smallest country in the world. You don't pay taxes. So a lot of rich people buy property there then they don't have to pay taxes if you live there for 6 months and 1 day.
If you're paying $50K for a square foot.
They got a great Grand Prix.
Let's just say the marina in front of, like, by the palace, there's rich, and then there's, hey, you know.
Like I invented the Capri Sun.
Yeah, no, it's like I invented packaging, like plastic, like that type of money.
All right, first caller up here is Jordan from Alabama. Jordan, what's going on?
What's up?
Good morning, fellas. How are y'all?
Good morning to you, Jordan.
How's it going?
Boys, let me tell you something. I got a joke for you. You ready?
Yep. Oh,
Yes.
I've never been more ready.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
I didn't do it.
That is exactly right. Nick Saban, who, baby? Auburn.
Oh, my God.
That was good.
Yo, Jordan, hey, talk your ish. Talk your ish.
All I can say is, Nick Saban, thanks for holding it down for us. Thanks for holding the conference down. Love Dirty Mike and the boys, but we're back. Okay? Come on now.
Oh, Jordan. How excited, just on a scale of 1 to Panic and Skywalker, how excited are you right now?
I am panicking. Darth Vader, Anakin, Padme Skywalker.
Oh, no.
You think they get KJ Bolden on the 5th?
I think we get KJ Bolden. I think we get every 5-star coming out of Alabama from now on, every 5-star out of Georgia. You know,
Jordan,
what?
10 and 2? 10 and 2, Jordan?
What? 15-0 national champion.
Let's go. Hey, I will say this.
You know it's almost college football season.
God.
I will say this, Jordan. How crazy is it? All right, go ahead.
I'm not one of those guys that's going to get a burner account on Twitter and talk my crap. I'm going to call into a sports show like a man and do it.
I love it.
That's exactly right. You know,
legend.
that's right. You come in my house, you get my wife's name right. That's how we do it here. I will say how it's not just crazy that Auburn flipped, like, this is like one of Alabama's top recruits now. This isn't like, you know, Ronnie Joe Jackson that tore his ACL and is going to be a 3-star next week.
Too,
but listen, I'm not trying to hate on RJJ. RJ Square.
Come on,
But this guy's, and he's from Foley, okay? Auburn doesn't get players from Foley. You know who else from Foley?
Julio Jones,
Robert Lester. Auburn doesn't go down there and get cats from Foley. That's not how it works. So this is just a very interesting deal. But Jordan, man, you got to call back later this week, man. I'm gonna need a.
I want an every Monday call.
Yeah, I know. Jordan, he gets the people
Way
going.
to set the tone.
What's your call sign, Jay?
Hopeful Barner.
Hopeful Barner.
Boom, I love
That's
it.
the most appropriate
The call sign
sign
idea was
for him.
so clutch. All right,
Look,
thanks, Jordan.
From the greatest film of all time, Shock the Nation, baby.
Shock
the nation.
2 girls walking together.
2 girls. Division III, the master
The top of your head is the hottest part of your body.
Yeah.
I'm the head coach.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care. Never mind.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
You guys have a great week.
You too,
All right, Jordan,
bud.
thanks.
All right, Andrew in West Virginia. What's going on, Andrew?
What's up, man?
Stop playing until it's been a while.
Oh, yeah, man. How you been?
I've been good. Finally, a few quick notes before I get to my 4 questions. I got 3 questions for each of y'all and 1 for all of y'all. My work schedule just recently changed, so now I was not able to do call-ins as often because I worked in the morning.
Gotcha. Well, I tell you what, Andrew, you know what a great job, a great job for you would be? Because I tell you what, man, like at the end of commercials, like when they have to say, like on the like medicine commercials, like the side effects of this, that, and the other, or like the battery's not so separately. Bro, the way you can formulate words so fast and I can still understand them, you may be like the #1 ranked fast reader at the end of commercials.
You need to be an auctioneer, man. That's what.
Dude, that's another good one. But all right, hit us with your questions, brother.
Also, congrats, Jake. And by the way, it's USA in French. By the way.
Okay, there it is.
My question for David Cohn. Interesting fact is, by the way, I forgot to mention a note earlier. I did do a donation earlier, Ultimate Camaro, my call sign. Anyway, for David Cohn, my question: there are 12 NFL teams that have actually not won the Super Bowl. Of those 12 teams, being the Vikings, Bills, Bengals, Panthers, Falcons, Chargers, Titans, Cardinals, Browns, Lions, Texans, and Jaguars, who's most likely to win their first one?
You're hired.
Goodness gracious. I love Andrew. I love when Andrew calls in.
Okay.
Go ahead, David. Answer the
Am I
question.
answering or are they asking? I'll go with the Jaguars, baby.
Come on,
Doug
Cody.
Peterson. Let's hop on the Jag train.
home.
Doug Peterson got the quarterback situation figured out with Trevor Lawrence. Look, a lot of weapons at wide receiver. I'll go Jags.
You know, Judson Fields ranked ahead of Trevor Lawrence in the 100 top players.
Well, that's just.
I don't think that's that
insane.
crazy.
Even though I would want to go. I mean, we were answering this question the other day, right? Bills and Bengals is an obvious choice.
It's. I think, man, the Bills and Bengals make it really hard.
Bills and Bengals make it hard, but let's see what's up with Joe Burrow. And look, but Brian Daboll left the Bills. Wasn't as good last year. I don't know.
Red zone problems.
Might get on the Jags train with you.
Hey, come home.
Wow, Rangers and Jags. Tell you what a turnaround for Coney. Andrew, what do you got for me?
For Blaine, there are 6 MLB teams that do not have a World Series, those being the Brewers, Mariners, Padres, Rangers, Rays, and Rockies. Which one of those 6 will win the World Series?
Oh, God. Thank God it wasn't a Yankees question. I'm going to go, let's go Rangers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Go Rangers.
I agree with that.
I like the moves they're making. I mean, the porridge smells pretty right.
Come on over.
Now. Hey, are we doing this right
Come
now?
on over.
Yeah, this is really weird after the way that the whole Cone becoming a Rangers fan, the way you took it, the way I took it, the way the world took it, apparently. This is, I'm glad to see this.
Yeah.
This is like Ukraine and Russia getting together and just,
We'll hug it out after.
We'll hug it for sure.
Hug it out.
100%.
Hug it out. All right, Andrew, what do you got for me?
All right, Jake, your question is, I should have brought this up during the summer when it happened, but the Nuggets were the first ever NBA title in franchise history. That leaves 10, 11 if you don't count the OKC, the Thunder's reign as the Seattle Supersonics, which I do not. The teams that do not have an NBA title, now that the Nuggets have won theirs, are the Pacers, Pelicans, Nets, Magic, Clippers, Jazz, Hornets, Suns, Grizzlies, and you may or not thought the Thunder, and the Timberwolves. So of those 10/11 teams, if you don't count the Thunder, who's going to win their first title in years?
I think I got to say the Suns, right? Even though they won't figure it out on defense. Like, could you? I hate their approach. I don't think you can just sit there and try and offensively juggernaut people to an NBA title in basketball. It just doesn't work like that. The threes aren't always falling. I think, getting the moves that they've made, they're going to score a lot of points. Just getting past the Nuggets, man. I mean, damn. But I look at those other teams, nobody really, the Grizzlies right now, I mean, John Moran is Papa Doc from 8 Mile. Is he going to figure it out? The Pelicans, Zion Williamson, 8 Papa Doc.
2 of them.
And a Pelicans. You look at the Jazz, I don't believe. The Clippers. The Clippers would probably be 2 to me. That would probably be the second one. I'd probably go Suns and then Clippers, Andrew. But it's always great when you call in, my friend. Please give us a shout Wednesday.
All righty then.
See you, man.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Appreciate it, Drew.
Brianna in Houston. Brianna, what's going on?
Hey guys, it's Mo Bama. I made it back
Bama.
from Honduras.
Oh, you did. Congrats.
Yeah,
how was it?
It was great, but I promised you guys a Flaming Dragon Friday bet, so I have one.
Yes.
So if you'll accept it, for this Friday, whoever misses the over-under has to eat octopus. And I'll give you the same rules I gave you before. So if Jake and David hit the under, it's the number of bites by how much they miss it by. So if the over-under is 2.5 and they only say it one time, then Blaine has to eat 2 bites because we're rounding up.
Big bites, right? Like full bites, not nibbles.
Yeah,
Let's get specific because this guy will distort it. It's like the end of Interstellar when he's in the.
So let me get
nobody
this straight.
understands.
The loser has to eat octopus, not
Yeah.
the winner. Okay. Isn't that
the loser
isn't that calamari?
eats octopus. And so
I love
That's
seafood.
squid.
I'm trying to lose.
You're
on
thinking of
purpose.
squid.
Okay, well, I'll try
so
it.
if
Seafood's the best food.
you guys miss and hit the over, then you each have to eat the number of bites that you missed by. So if the over is 2.5 and you say it 4 times, that's 2 bites each.
Well, I'm gonna be saying Blaine all day.
Double shake.
I'm gonna need some. I love
shake?
that. That's fine, but we're gonna need some clarification on the rules, especially after the treachery that goes on the controller.
What are you talking about, treachery?
After the week before.
Fine, let's get some rules of engagement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
get some rules of
First rule of engagement: watch them say my name and count it.
Yeah. No, you
All right,
can't say
that's
words
first
like
rule.
blanket.
You can't say blanket.
You
can't say Blaine. Wait 3 seconds. Say kit. Right. Flaming's getting
yes,
up
I
there
can,
too.
and
Can't
yes, I
say
will.
flaming. All right, that's off the table. We can get this
How about
together.
Tanner?
I'm fine.
How about Tanner?
If we can
I
meet
can't say
each other
Tanner.
halfway. I'm fine with the rule. I love octopus. I'm a big eel guy.
I do too. I'm trying to lose now.
Eel?
Eel's phenomenal.
You're a big eel guy?
Love it.
Wow, where do you get some good eel at?
You don't even want to know.
Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the same sushi place that you can get some octopus.
Yeah.
But I do have another question for you guys, too.
Yeah.
Y'all think Hendon Hooker will play this year with his current ACL status?
He'll play a little bit. Get a couple snaps.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get. I mean,
if we're talking like, are we talking like meaningful playing time? Or are we talking like garbage time? Look, I think Hendon Hooker has a chance because I think his passing ability, his ability to diagnose coverages, to dissect coverages, Jared Goff, the gumball smuggler. I mean, it's a great situation right now. I mean, he's looking
shovel face.
Yeah, shovel face, whatever you want to call them. They're hot, but Jared Goff, we do know injury-wise, it has bitten him before in his career, like it has every quarterback. And Hendon's the type where I feel like he's an older guy. You don't have to worry about anything. He's going to be prepared. My thing with Hendon, last time we saw him at SEC Media Days, he had put on some weight. Looked like he was moving around really well. I would not be shocked if it would take an injury to Jared Goff, because I don't think Jared Goff's just going to fall off a cliff this year. But Hendon's one of the few rookies I think could come into a situation where he didn't start at the beginning of the year and have success. It's a great question.
I think he's good enough right now to start in the NFL. I think he's good enough right now to start for the Falcons. I think a lot of players. I think Matt Corral's good enough to start for the Falcons.
I love
not a big Desmond Ridder guy. I really don't believe.
I'm not either.
So I think Hendon will be a backup, but I think he will sooner or later start in the NFL.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Mobama.
Thank you, Mobama.
Let's go to Steve in Ohio. Steve, what's going on?
Hey,
Stevie,
what's up, bud?
Hey, I'm actually going to do a football version.
All right.
Of who did what today?
Ooh,
we got a shot.
Yes, I'm trying to make it so that you guys can win.
Thank you, Steve. I always appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Thoughtful.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
My confidence is through the roof.
Rules. I'm going to name 3 players and give 4 stats. One of the stats will apply to all 3 players. The other 3 stats will apply to 1 player each. To win, all you need to do is identify the stat that applies to all 3 players.
Okay, come on, guys. Ninja focus.
Without using electronic devices. All
right, let's do it.
Right, go for the bonus and try to do the other stats. But are you ready?
Let's do it, Steve. Show me this. Let the mongoose see the snake.
The players are Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Tom Brady. And Eli Manning.
All right, Cone. Come on, baby.
Come on.
Okay, the stats are over 400 completions, a QB rating of over 100, over 25 touchdown passes, and over 12.0 yards per completion.
So we're talking about just one season.
We're talking about one season. Like
this is the 2012 season. 2012 season.
Oh, 2012.
Man, the touchdown passes, David. 25?
Oh, man.
Tom, Eli, Peyton.
What year
2012.
What year was Peyton hurt? He was still in Indy in 2012, right?
Yes. Right? Because Luck was right after that?
Won the Super Bowl out there.
All right, the QB rating. I don't think Eli had the QB rating. Over 100. 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we guessing a stat? Or?
Yeah, which stat applies to all of them? Say the stats again, Steve.
Okay, the stats are over 400 completions, QB rating over 100, over 25 touchdown passes, and over 12.0 yards per completion.
God, is it the yards per completion?
Maybe, because it seems at least like it.
It's that's just such a surprising stat to me. That's such a like a weird stat to grab. It's not the answer. The only thing that worries me is that Peyton Manning just throws the hell out of checkdowns, and so does Tom.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, but Peyton, they're also throwing it a lot.
Yeah.
I would say the 12 yards.
I like that.
Let's go.
I like that.
So we're going with the 12
I didn't
yards
like
per
his
completion?
reaction.
Yeah, Steve,
Yes.
I didn't like your reaction there. I feel bad about it now.
I think it's the complete amount of completions.
The correct answer is over 25 touchdowns.
Oh, I knew
and
it.
that was the easiest one. See, this is the problem. Like, because I thought
Damn
Steve
you.
would for sure not make it the 25 touchdowns.
God, come on, Jake.
What do you mean?
Come on.
That was the first one I said. And I
How
talked
many
myself out
touchdowns
of
did
it.
they all throw that year?
I didn't think Eli had 25.
Okay. Peyton Manning had 400 completions, so he was not over 400. He had a 105.8 quarterback rating, 11.6 yards per completion, and 37 touchdowns. Brady had 401 completions, 98.7 rating, 12 yards per completion, and 34 touchdown passes. Eli had 321 completions, 87.2 rating, 12.3 yards per completion, and 26 touchdowns.
26.
That's the only one I was worried about.
26.
Yeah.
Man.
Great
well,
stuff.
Steve, that's great stuff, man.
Yeah, so Brady was the completions. The QBR rating was Peyton, and Eli was the 12 yards per completion.
Next time we're getting it. By the way, Steve's a heck of a moderator on the Crain & Company Facebook group. Well.
I love it.
Yeah, Steve, we appreciate
Thanks,
you, buddy.
Steve.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. All right, last one. Kirk in Canada, our boy Skyhook.
Yes.
You have 30 seconds, Kirk. What's going on?
30 seconds. Vacation this week, boys. Loving it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going to see the Jays, the Toronto Blue Jays play tomorrow night in Toronto, so that's going to be fun.
Nice.
Who they got?
So they're playing the Orioles.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., come on, get hot for the kid.
Cedric Mullins can't get away from this guy.
Can't escape this guy.
So I'm calling about what there's a conversation on Wednesday about Patrice Bergeron, and Dave asked Blaine about what do you think about Patrice retiring from the NHL. Remember that?
I do remember that. I thought Blaine's answer was kind of disrespectful, to be honest.
Well, this is it. I was going to say that he said, what kind of a name is Patrice? And I'm calling to tell you it's French for Patrick. But
Jake was here. He would have knew that.
Jake would have known that if he was.
I would have.
100%.
I would have.
100%.
Well, it's also like both sides of my brain work, so I can understand that other one of our tour guys' name was Thierry, which was French for Terry.
That's right.
Cool. Great answer, dude.
I have a little bit of a challenge before I let you go. Blaine said something about the Flyers doing well this year or something like that.
What do you think about that, Kirk?
Turkey, there's I'm loving this.
We were tight about it. Oh,
tell him, Kirk.
So
I'm the one who's going to skyhook you to this situation, and now.
How about a challenge, Blaine? Me and you. I'll go with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You go with that team from Philadelphia.
Yeah. Feels fair, Kirk.
I'll give you 7.5 points. I'll give you 7.5 regular season points.
Give me the Leafs.
Do it. They got a lot of Canadian players.
Put on the other team's jersey and post it on social media.
Look, you give me 9.5. You give me 9.5, Kirky, and we can have an honest.
How about you meet in the middle? How about 8? So therefore, there's a push. There could be a push.
Kirk, I'm not. Don't worry about what these guys are talking about. This isn't about them. It's about us. All right.
I'll
go 9, Kirk.
I'm on vacation, so I'll think about it. And I'll
enjoy that vacation.
Enjoy that vacay, brother.
Get in touch with my people. I'll get in touch with your people. We'll figure it out.
Sounds good, buddy. Thank you.
Right, Kirk calls in.
See you, man.
All right. So, ready to get to bets? Do that while Blaine Booster Club, what's up?
God, see, I get to my bets, and then I have to switch back.
Well,
let's go to Chris E. I really want to see Hendon succeed, but Goff needs to have an incredible season with the Lions this year in order for me to want to keep him.
Yeah, all true. That's factual.
Let's go to Heartbroken Hog. He says, your football season is really close when Steve's trivia questions changes to football.
That's how you know. It's like, when they know if it's going to be when they get the groundhog out and they look at his shadow. That's how you know how far you are away from football season. Like when Steve calls in with the football trivia.
Let's go to DJ Barber. What's up, DJ?
DJ.
He says, first time watching live in a while. Just wanted to drop and say Hugh Freeze is doing the dang thing, and it's an incredible time to be alive.
What?
Play a game first.
You know, listen. Can you not let people be excited?
No,
we'll reel them back in. We'll reel them back in, but there should be some excitement.
No, yeah, eternally excited.
Breaking glass ceilings.
We don't show emotion. All right, when it comes to Auburn football, no emotions involved.
Yeah, DJ, I appreciate you joining the live. We know it's
showing a lot
of
emotions.
Keep hopping in here.
Yeah.
It's an emotional time.
Let's go to Heartbroken Hog. He wants to know what's his thoughts on Arkansas this year. Are we taking the over or under in wins?
I know you're gonna get my predictions towards the end of fall camp. I gotta see who gets hurt and who wins jobs. Some of these guys right here, it's like, all right, here's what they're gonna do. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna lose a job that was supposed to win a job. Somebody's gonna win a job that was supposed to lose a job. Something's gonna happen. All right, because I've seen it. I've been a part of it. Not doing my predictions till the end of fall camp. That's how I'm living my life.
All right, let's go to No Fun League Sports Channel. He says, who you got winning the Super Bowl? He says Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles, and everyone else. No.
Chiefs, Bengals, the Eagles, or everyone else?
Yeah.
God, how do I go against the Chiefs?
I would take the Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles trio.
Like, how do I go against that? I can't. And with the Eagles being pissed, Jalen Hurts will see if he can evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, lose both coordinators, but they're still good up front. And that's what matters. All right, one more.
All right, let's go to Matty Ice. Who will play first as a starter? Stetson Bennett or Hendon Hooker?
Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker.
You sure your boy Stetson?
Even though Stetson's out there, he's dropping dimes. I saw a couple highlights. Even though everybody gets all excited about coming out here and making plays without pads on, and I get it. I'm as excited as anybody about football starting. But that's like diet football, right? Mm-hmm. It's not the real thing. I want to see out there running around with those monsters are coming after you.
Fat Dad wants to know, would you rather have to fight a Komodo dragon or a wolf in the UFC octagon?
What?
Yeah.
I'll fight the dragon.
Huh?
I'll fight the Komodo dragon.
Wolf?
Wolf. Yes.
Wolf?
Wolf?
A wolf?
Yeah.
Pen?
Fine. I'm fighting the Komodo.
I'm fighting the Komodo dragon.
I don't know though. Is it Komodo dragon in a Komodo? Then we're worried.
In a Komodo?
Then we're worried, dude.
A Komodo dragon in a Komodo?
He's coming and he's
That's
throwing
a children's
Look,
book.
I don't want to fight a wolf.
Fireballs at
I don't want to fight a wolf because all of a sudden I start getting after his ass a little bit, then 9 of them jump in the octagon.
They rolled.
No, that wasn't part of the deal.
They rolled deep.
Look, that one part of the who's stopping them? What bouncer's stopping the pack of wolves that just ran into
the rule book. The rule book.
Yeah.
That was not part of the rule.
That's right.
Yeah, ask Little Red Riding Hood how that worked out. All right, here's what I got. It's coming down to the end of the month, boys. This is what we do this for.
Is this updated?
This is updated.
Oh, wow.
All right, and Cercio, we got to put Cercio's up there, aka Crain and Co. Pick Tracker. It's us three. It's coming down to today. It's July 31st.
Who's winning?
All right, what?
Who's winning? What's Cercio at?
Man, it's like it.
Okay. Good talk.
It's right there.
Good talk.
You have to take 5 bets today.
I realize that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm letting everybody else.
Please continue.
Yeah, they can't get into your head. This isn't a dream within a dream within a dream. All right, this isn't Inception. Anyways, here's what I'm going with today. Braves and Astros, listen, okay? I need it. I don't ask a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Right? I'm a good person. I bought this chick was having trouble buying these pecan brownies right over in the airport. I bought them the other day for this moment. And to be nice, all right? Because I wanted to pay it forward. But also for this moment. So, give me the Braves, Astros together. Money line. Plus 110. Please God. Then, Cubs, money line. Marcus Stroman. I Love You in the music video with Mike Stud. Okay? It's a great song. I listened to it. The beginning's really dope. But I need you to go out here and shove a little bit today. All right? I need Cercio to lose. I need Blaine to Post Malone fall apart. And I need me being nice to that lady in the convenience store at the airport.
I just need to smash cut to the scene that happened in the airport with the security footage of Jake yelling at this woman because she was taking too long and saying, "My God, I'll just buy it for you."
Move!
That's what happened.
Dude.
That's what really happened.
All right, what do you got, David?
Oh, not that mine matters, but I'll take the Braves money line plus the over at 5.5. That's total team runs there, plus 110. And then Brewers are up in the first 5 and also win the ball game, minus 110.
Really? All right, taking 5 bets today. I gave a homeless guy the rest of my Chipotle the other day, so let's see how this plays out.
We're all just like coming up with.
Like that
I know that really happened. Turley, please.
Like that time you handed that pizza to that homeless person.
I
and
wish
asked where the
nothing but
ranch
terrible
was,
things
and knocked it out of there.
It might have happened.
Yeah, it definitely did happen. Steak and chicken.
In the burrito?
I went bowl, steak and chicken with the little spicy salsa. So I'm sure that guy lived it up for a couple hours.
I want one of my bets to be who's going to win the month. That's what I really
Give me the Rays minus 1.5 plus 134. You know why? Me neither. All right, they give me the Braves money line and the under at 9.5. So what's your team total for the Braves?
5.5.
Don't need that to happen. All right, give me the Padres minus 1.5. That's going off at a dirty minus 130.
Dirty minus.
The Mariners minus 1.5. What is he doing? He's going insane. He's taking nothing but dog bets. Plus 130. Give me the Nats at home.
Jake Irvin on the hill.
Plus 1.5 dogs. Plus 102. I'm not even going to watch it because I'll freak out.
Wow. So much.
All right. Eighth cone.
But make sure you don't be emotional.
Organize.
Yeah, don't be emotional.
Don't be emotional.
We talk about Auburn football. Don't be.
Red Sox. Baby Cone's going Red Sox, Mariners, Nerfy at minus 110, and the Phils money line at minus 115. All right.
So are aliens real? Do we know that? Did they come out? Did
They're
you
not.
watch that stuff? On the, was like a Senate meeting?
Anytime I
You don't
see
think
aliens are real in the headlines, I'm like, okay, what are they distracting us from? What are they trying to keep us distracted?
Well, look, again, I think if you don't believe aliens are real, you don't believe in math. Like that's just how simple it is. And again, you cannot believe in both those things. I mean,
I believe
it's
in science.
It's math.
Let's go to the poll.
Math is a part of science.
Let's go to the poll.
The numbers part of science.
Who's the first team to jump to the Big 12? Oregon, Utah, or Arizona?
Arizona. Because I think Oregon's going into the Big Ten.
See, I think you're right because Utah would have more. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Oregon would go to the Big Ten. I think Utah would have a little bit more leverage so it could hold out longer. So Arizona at 45%.
I'm going to say Arizona, 46%. I also like to live dangerously.
44.
I'm going to say Oregon.
44.
So what are you going with?
We just told
Just read
you.
the results and we'll tell you who
44?
won.
He said 45, I said 46.
Well, he just changed it.
No, I didn't. I just want it to be under
I
what
thought
I
you
said.
changed your answer.
I'm willing it. I'm manifesting it.
Hey!
You do your thing, I'll do mine.
I'm sorry, mister.
Don't
Perfect.
say manifesting. Racist. Oregon, 26%.
Okay.
Arizona,
No.
36%. Wow. Utah, huh?
38.
Sister Riggs had her hand all over that one. Had her hand all over that
I don't
one.
know if y'all hear, but Creed is coming back.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're coming back. I think they're going on a cruise tour.
A cruise tour?
They're coming back. The first one, they're on a cruise.
Speaking of aliens, that's the first thing that aliens need to come down to see Creed playing. With arms wide open.
Show them that they grew
Super
here.
cruise.
Super cruise. Cruise Creed on a cruise?
Cruise. Support small
Stop.
businesses. What up?
All right, well, we want your hands all over that subscribe button, that like button as well. Make sure you check out the Daily Wire Plus, all that great content. We're back, baby. And I'm not going to Europe anytime soon. Mission complete. And like the chances of us not overreacting about recruits, we're going, gone.